Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So now that we're in March, the meta has completely shifted, so I thought I should go back and readjust all my decks once again and bring you guys some new deck profile updates, starting off with Shaddoll Dinosaurs this time. So I've been going back with this deck a few times, mainly because much like Salamangrates, which by the way is now one of my favorite decks now because it's fun, it's not as low budget as it was before, but it's still fairly low budgeted, so I would definitely recommend picking that up. But with Shaddoll Dinosaurs, I wanted to test out some new theories with it too and see what else I could do with it, because the deck is very good, especially if you run the Performance engine. But how do you deal with Salamangrate? Well, that's what it kind of got me thinking, well, they're fire monsters. I have a target for Super Poly to make Il Shaddoll Grista. Against Danger Thunder, they're mostly dark or light monsters, so I can make Window or Construct, but even then, with Tyranno, it's a really hard boss monster for them to get around because he can flip all their monsters face down. So, I've been looking back, I wanted to try something pretty new, and, well, I think I might have found the answer to that. So, anyway, let me go and show you what I got this time around, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Let me go and adjust the camera just a little. Okay, and we're good. Alright, so starting off, I'm actually only going to be playing 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. 3 was just a little too bricky, but 2 should be more than enough anyway. He's basically Book of Eclipse, and he can attack all your opponent's monsters, and he doesn't destroy the monsters when they're in defense mode, he just sends them to the grave and inflicts 1,000 points of damage. 2 copies of Overtech Squatless. This card is really good. If you dump it to the grave, it gives you a double evolution pill, and if you summon it, it can negate spells and traps. Next up, I'm only playing 2 copies of Dino Wrestler Pankratops. I thought 3 was a little too bricky as well, so I'm keeping it at 2. It's an Earth monster, free summon, and it can pop. It can get around floodgates basically by tributing himself and popping 1 card on your opponent's side of the field. 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor. It's a Rhoda / Foolish Burial, so it gets you everything you need. Searches out your dinosaur monsters, and yeah, not much else to say about that. For the 1-ofs, 1 Giant Rex, of course, summons itself for free if it's banished, and 1 Miscellaneous Source for built-in protection rather. I wish he was at least at 2, but he's still at 1, so maybe on the next ban list we'll finally get that wish to have Miscellaneous Source back at 2. But yeah, and that's pretty much it for the dinosaurs. So now moving on to the Shaddoll engine. I'm only playing 4 Shaddoll monsters, and honestly I think you should only run 3 or 4, but But I picked out the best ones, of course. 1 Beast gives you free draw, and if it's flip summon, you get to draw 2 cards and discard 1, so it's a Graceful Charity, and the discard is not cost, so great card. 1 Shaddoll Dragon to pop spells and traps. Shaddoll Falco, it's basically easy pop fodder for your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and it can bring back your Shaddoll monsters. 1 Shaddoll Hedgehog for your search, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so for the Performance engine, I'm playing 1 of each. 1 Hat Tricker, free summon as long as there's 2 or more monsters, and it's an Earth monster, so you can actually use it as an easy target for your Nat Beast or Shekinaga as well. 1 Trick Clown, which also acts as a construct target for me, as well as Damage Juggler. And there are some decks that still do some burn damage, so Damage Juggler really comes in handy if it is in my hand. But yeah, generally, even if this is in your hand, that's fine. You can discard it and banish it later and add your Hat Tricker or Trick Clown. So definitely comes in handy. It really makes this deck very consistent now. So again, it's just and not to mention, they also help me link climb too, so that's another good thing about the Performance engine. For the 1-of, I'm playing 1 Glow Bulb. This is actually my new theory. Because I can actually fill my board with more monsters, I can actually link climb a little bit better. I can actually potentially turbo out Nat Beast in this deck too. So I usually get either Summon Sork out or Reaper first, summon a monster to make Summon Sork, and then I just go from there. And if I can special summon if I can get Glow Bulb in the grave as quickly as I can summon it out, as well as 1 of my Earth monsters, and make Nat Beast too, as well as 1 of my Fusion monsters. So it can become really busted. So this basically gives my deck a viable going first play, because Shaddoll Dinosaurs has been mostly a going second deck. Well, now there's some actual going first place you can do now. So even if you win the dice roll, you can go first. So moving on, for hand traps, I'm only playing 6. 2 Ash, 2 Ogre, which is really good against Salamangrate. It's really good against actually almost everything right now because it's just free non-targeting spot removal. And 2 copies of Veiler. I don't have impermanence naturally, but Veiler is still just as good. And it's light attribute and a tuner, so hey, there you go. Moving on. 3 Shaddoll Fusions. I've been tempted to run it down to 2, but I do kind of want to see it as quickly as I can, because again, if your opponent controls a monster summoned from the extra deck, you can use materials directly from your deck instead, and just acts as a foolish burial on its own right. 3 Fossil Dig, who doesn't want to play 3 Rhoda? 3 Double Evolution Pill, you definitely want to get your big boss monsters as quickly as you can. 3 Call by the Grave, you don't want Shaddoll Fusion or Double Evolution Pill to get hit whatsoever. So if Ash Blossom hits either one, then you can pretty much just kiss your turn goodbye. But yeah, again, you definitely want to have these at 3, that way you can give yourself some built-in protection. And then the only one-ofs, I got Super Poly, got plenty of targets for that. 1 Foolish Burial, and then 1 Monster Reborn. Figured why not. And that's pretty much it for the main deck. That's 40 cards exact. Alright, so for the extra deck, playing 2 copies of Shaddoll Winda. This card's really good. So this basically restricts both players from special summoning so many monsters in one turn. I usually make her last in my combos, just so that way I can get all my big boss monsters and then summon her out last. And this really hurts the Danger Thunder, because since they always like to summon so many monsters at once, if they waste their one special summon, then yeah, Shaddoll Winda just kind of shuts them down entirely. And she can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, so really good. And also, like all Shaddoll monsters, if she's sent to the graveyard, you can add back your fusion, so it really comes in handy. 1 Shaddoll Grista, which negates special summons by sending 1 Shaddoll card from your hand to the grave. 1 Shekinaga, or Shaddoll Shekinaga, which basically negates the effects of special summon monsters. But same thing, you have to send a Shaddoll card from your hand to the grave. And lastly, Shaddoll Construct, which is actually, I'm really happy this card is back. Whenever it engages in battle at the start of the damage step, you can just if it battles a special summon monster, it destroys that monster. And it's really good against Thunder in some ways, because it forces them to basically use up 2 banishment materials. So for their built-in protection, they would literally have to just banish 2 Thunder Dragons from their grave, and that just kind of forces them to grind out faster. So Shaddoll Construct really does help out in some ways. So yeah. For the Xyz, got 1 Dolka, which is Solemn Strike. Logia for Solemn Warning / or rather Solemn Judgment, because it negates spells and traps. We got Tornado Dragon. Figured it's a little bit better than Nightmare Phoenix right now. Well, in this build at least, because you can pop 2 cards. 1 Abyss Dweller to stop graveyard effects, so yeah. And to deal with time rules, Gustav Max is definitely good just to burn your opponent for damage. And the only synchro I'm playing is Nat Beast, of course, since we do have Global. We got plenty of level 4 Earth monsters, so easy to make. It's not hard to make whatsoever. And I'm only playing 4 Link monsters. I'm playing Reaper-Docus, Summon Sorceress, Topologic Trisbana, which really hurts back row decks, because, for example, you summon Giant Rex to one of its Link arrows, banish it, banish all spells and traps out on the field, burn your opponent for damage, and you can bring back Giant Rex, because, banishment for free. And 1 Borreload Dragon, just because, I think it's just really good. I don't have Sword, but Borreload outs Thunder Dragon's better anyway. Alright, so for the side deck, playing 3 copies of Winged Dragon Royal Sphere mode, just to deal with decks like Crusadia, Guard Dragon, or any Guard Dragon variant that just fills their board with a bunch of negates. Even Pen Magician, you don't want them to lock you down with so many negates and you can't play the game. 3 Artifact Lancia, which is good against Danger Thunder as well, or any deck that's going to try to start banishing your cards. In fact, Artifact Lancia actually outs Evenly Matched. So the second they enter their battle phase, use Lancia, they can't banish your cards with Evenly Matched. 3 Mind Control, just because, free link climb, so just steal one of your opponent's monsters and you can just go into Reaper-Docus or something. Triple Twin Twisters to deal with back row, as well as Red Reboot, because, Subterra Guru controls a thing. There's not as much Ultra Guys, but, you never know. And we also got Sky Strikers, so Twin Twisters, and, of course, for any trap-based deck, Red Reboot helps too. Well, anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this build, and I'll catch you guys again on the next video.